So, no way to get enough light in here. I waited until too far into the day. There's not enough natural light in the room to accommodate this side of my face, so that's fine. Today's tip video. I want to talk about slowing down. A problem I find with a lot of up-and-coming deductionists is that they're too overeager to just make as many deductions as they can, as fast as they can. That seems to be their primary goal, is just to become adept at making quick-time deductions. So my intention with this tip video is to kind of discourage that a little bit. There's nothing wrong with making quick deductions as long as you're not forcing them. But the more you force them, the more you'll miss details, because you're just trying to find what fits in with making instant gratification. And then you'll miss the big things. So here are my tips for that. First of all, take a second look. On average, it's a good idea to do 3 looks at a person when you're scanning them. Your initial scan, a secondary scan to kind of put everything together. The initial scan is just observations. Observe, take notes of everything you can about the person. Then the second scan is when you start making connections and deductions, and then a third scan to kind of put everything all together. 3 scans. You can do this within a mental photograph as well. But the point is to take 3 scans. Most people try to do 1 scan and they combine all 3 steps. But by forcing yourself to take a second look and a third look, you're forcing yourself to slow down. You're forcing yourself to see more details. You're forcing yourself to take a minute to put all of the details together, which this is often going to help you eliminate things, possibilities that don't fit together. And the second tip here is patience. It, on average, takes about a minute to make good deductions about a person. Don't expect to look at someone and have, in 10 seconds, all the deductions and observations you need about the person. Take about a minute to sit and observe the person, come to conclusions naturally, slowly. Don't force it. You take that time to work through the problems. Critical thinking. And then another tip here that helps to slow you down is to consider context. Figure out what the situation is, where you're at, what the type of day is. Taking note of these things can help you put together a more thorough conclusion of the person. The time of day, the type of day it is, the day of the week, the day of the month, what is their holiday. All of these are considered context. And then there's other things that fall into context for individuals. Taking note of context will slow you down, and that's not a bad thing. Taking a minute to slow down and consider all of these problems. What's going to happen when you slow yourself down is it's going to force you to see all of the evidence as it is. You're not going to miss as much evidence because you're taking the time to slow down. And don't worry about speed. Speed comes with time and efficiency and practice. It's like the difference between a fast food restaurant and an actual cafe or a diner. The quality of food is way better when you take your time and slow down. quality of your deductions will be better if you take your time and slow down. And that's important if you are truly interested in making deductions, if you want to do this for the long term. There are a lot of things that you can deduce about a person in a matter of seconds. Within the first few seconds of meeting a person, you can deduce a lot of impressive things. But if you want an in-depth deduction, an in-depth scan of the person, you need to be prepared to sit and take about a minute, 30 seconds, minute, 2 minutes to go over the person, figure everything out, piece it all together in your head. I won't lie, I've had a few times where I've made very quick, very rapid deductions at a glance and knew some very personal details, very detailed information about the person that I've never shouldn't have known, you know. Very impressive deductions within a few seconds, but it didn't come overnight. I'm 8 years into my deduction practice at this point. I've been studying this for a long time, and it doesn't happen all the time. It happens once in a while will I ever get a deduction that happens that rapidly and that smoothly. It depends on just how much evidence is present at any given time. I don't force it. When I have those kind of deductions that happen instantaneously, I force myself to stop, slow down, and think about it again, because when I have those kind of deductions, I stop myself. I force myself to go over everything a second time. I slow myself down because I worry that a deduction that quick could just be me wanting to see things that aren't actually there. Deductions with intuition, they come faster, but you want to double check them and prove them. Basically proofread your deductions. So those are my tips. Take a second look. Don't be afraid to slow down. Look at the information again. Consider the context. And if you do make a good deduction, proofread it. Double check. Make sure everything makes sense. Can you, in your head, argue that your deduction might be wrong? These are all important steps to making good, thought-out deductions. So those are my tips today for slowing down. I think that's everything. It's getting cold here. Thanks for watching, and have a good day.